In this video, we're continuing with the topic of the Triangle Inequality Theorem, but this video is going to focus on determining ranges for the third side of a triangle. So here, in our first example, we're using our theorem. It says the measure of two sides of a triangle are 5 and 8. Find a range for the length of the third side. So we're trying to figure out the numbers that the third side could fall in between. So here I'm going to sketch a triangle. And they told us two of the sides are 5 and 8. And we don't know the third side, so I'm going to put an X. And I'm going to use the theorem to kind of come up with a range for the length of the third side. So my theorem states that if you add two sides, it has to be greater than the third side. So I could put 5 plus 8 is greater than X. And I'm going to do this for all possible combos. So I could also say 8 plus X is greater than 5. And 5 plus X is greater than 8. So I'm combining any two sides and making sure it's bigger or greater than the third side. And I'm going to solve these for X. So if I solve the first one, 5 plus 8 is 13. So I get 13. It's greater than X. If I solve the second one, I'll subtract 8. I get X is greater than negative 3. Remember, we're talking about the sides of a triangle. So this is not possible because it doesn't make sense to have a negative side. For my next one, I don't know why I put next here, sorry, it should say 5 plus X. So now if I subtract 5, I get X is greater than positive 3. So the two inequalities that I have here is that X is greater than 3 and 13 is less than X, which if you flip it says X is less than 13. So what this tells me for the range of sides is that our third side has to be between 3 and 13. So you could write this like this: 3 is less than X is less than 13. Or you could say the side must measure between 3 and 13 units. Now, I just kind of showed you how the theorem can be used to find this. You don't have to do all that work. A shortcut would be to just take the difference and sum of the two sides that are given. For example, here, if I had done 8 minus 5, I get 3. You add 8 plus 5, you get 13. And so your number for your other side must be between those two. So you're going to use the difference and the sum. So in the next problems, we'll do that to save time. So here they're telling us that one side's 1 centimeter, the other side's 6 centimeters. So I'm going to do the difference and the sum. So the difference would be to do 6 minus 1, which is 5 centimeters. And the sum would be to add them, which would be 7 centimeters. So that means our range for X would be between 5 centimeters and 7 centimeters. And you could just write that 5 centimeters is less than X is less than 7 centimeters. All that means is that the third side is between 5 and 7. So I'm going to go faster. For the number 2, if I take the difference, 18 minus 12 is 6 yards, and 18 plus 12 is 30 yards. So my range would be between 6 yards and 30 yards. The next one, again, I'm going to take my difference. So 5.5 minus 1.5 would equal 4 feet. And then my sum would be 5.5 plus 1.5, which would be 7 feet. So for this triangle, the range for the third side would be between 4 feet and 7 feet. Again, you're using those less than symbols. Now, make sure you're always doing the bigger number first, because if you don't, you're going to get a negative number, which doesn't make sense for a side of a triangle. So in the last one here, my difference would be 82 minus 8, or 74 meters. And my sum would be 82 plus 8, or 90 meters. So the third side, the range would be between 74 meters and 90 meters. So again, the shortcut, take the difference and the sum of the two sides that are given. That'll give you your range of your third side.